This is a short video to demonstrate how you can plug an iPad into the interactive whiteboard so that the screen from the iPad is displayed on the interactive whiteboard. This is excellent, but you must remember that you can only touch and operate the iPad from the iPad. You can't touch the interactive whiteboard and expect the iPad to respond. So basically you're just reflecting the iPad screen onto the interactive whiteboard. To do this, you need to buy a VGA cable that plugs into your iPad. I've got an iPad too, so therefore it's got the connector there, and this is your VGA connector here. This plugs into the bottom just below your home button, just exactly the same as where your charger plugs in. It's quite fragile, and despite the expense, they're not terribly durable. As you'll notice, it's a very short lead, so if you plug this into the back of the computer, you actually don't have much distance, so you're sort of squashed at the back of the computer. So you can buy an extension lead. I've got a nice 10-metre extension lead here, but as you will notice, it has a very thick cable and therefore is very heavy. So the only way I find that I can use it within my classroom is that you have to place the iPad on a small table, because if you're holding it, the weight of this cable will pull the connector out and you'll lose your connection and therefore lose your image on the interactive whiteboard. As you'll notice, it's a 30 pin, it's got a male and female end to it. So we'll just go round to the back of the computer and I'll show you how to plug it in. On the back of your computer, you will notice, here we are, here's everything, and there's a cable going in. This one's blue and it's got a little screen in. It's actually the cable going in for your monitor, so it goes out from the computer and it goes into the monitor. Because we're on an interactive whiteboard, it's going into the controls of the interactive whiteboard. We'll just pop this out, and you'll notice there's the one with the pins, so I choose on my extension cable the complementary one and I pop it in. You can turn these to secure it tightly, but I tend not to do that. And we'll just go round. So on my extension cable, it's the one with the pins, and it'll pop into the VGA cable. Now, I have to say, as I said, it is quite heavy. When you pop it in, it might not come on immediately because basically there's not a true connection. So you might have to do a little bit of fiddle. So popping that in, let's hope it goes on straight away. And there we are. Just make sure it's a good connection. It takes just a second to make the connection. So you might think it's not connecting, it just takes a second to make that connection. And then if you see, if I open up my iPad, I've actually got one of my little favourites here, which is Tocker Band. Suggest you buy that, as it's a nice one. And down the bottom all these characters come, and I'll just show you it works. We'll put in one of my favourites. And there we are, you can see it on the interactive whiteboard. But there's no sound. Now you can also connect the sound. So again, if we go around the back of the computer, this is the control panels for the computer and the interactive whiteboard, and you'll notice it says speakers audio. On mine, I've plugged in a yellow and a black lead. I had to make sure that the yellow went into the yellow one and the black, and then it's got a little like a headphone socket, and this goes into the top of your iPad. And of course excellently. There we are. And then hopefully you can see and hear. Let's choose somebody else so you can see somebody else. Let's have the opera singer lady. There we are. So I can control it from the iPad. I cannot control it from the interactive whiteboard. And that's how you can connect your iPad to an interactive whiteboard.